Hey everybody, welcome to Thursday night at LDRS Creative. We're so excited to be back again. I feel like I'm off center. I'm looking at my camera and I'm like, that doesn't look right. Maybe I'm just lopsided tonight, I don't know. Hello to everybody who's coming in already. So hello to Jen Ray and Shelly. Linnea, hey girl, I see you out there. Who else is here? Regan is here. Angel, hey y'all. Margie is here. Beverly. Who else is here? Sandra Yee. Hi, Sandy. She is right here in Michigan. What?
I'm here.
Oh, Alan is here.
Cindy's here.
What?
Cindy Morrow's here.
Oh, Cindy Morrow's here. Cool. Hi, Cindy. Some of the names don't actually come up. They just say Facebook user. I think that's if you're on the Facebook page. I can't see your actual name. So I apologize if I don't call your name. It's because I don't know the name if I don't see the name. So anyway, who else is here? Rhonda is here. We have so many people coming in. So hi, everybody. Yay. I'm so excited to be back here. I know, here's the thing. I know last week there were some requests for a Christmas card, and I'm not quite there yet. But I thought I'm going to make a card that you can actually make for any season. So I'm actually going to make a wreath. You guys know how much I love wreaths. I mean, we have a whole pirouette system that's dedicated to wreaths. You know how much I love them. But I'm going to make a wreath, and I'm going to be featuring the Mini Foliage dies because I'm kind of a die cutting fanatic these days. What's going on?
I'm just looking to see something. Oh, I'm not in the shot.
No, you're not in the shot, but you came over here. I thought maybe something was wrong. So who else is coming in? I see more names. Beverly, Rhonda is here. Does it say Eeyore Quilts? Does it say Eeyore Quilts or Quits? I can't tell. My eyes are terrible. Oh, it's actually Mary from Central Michigan. Interesting. I actually went. Now, I wonder where Central Michigan is. Is that like around Midland? Because I actually went to Central Michigan University in Midland, Michigan. So, hey, y'all. Hey, Mary. Who else is here? Pamela has come on in. So, still people coming in. Yay. So anyway, like I was saying, I'm not quite into Christmas yet, although at our trade show it was all about Halloween and Christmas. And so little bit of information just so you guys can mark it on your calendar if you want. The launch of our next collection, which is Halloween and Christmas, is actually going to be September 9th. So I'm really excited about that. That is a Friday, which means that I will be doing the live for it. I gotta think. I don't know if it'll be the day before because we're taking our son to school, so I may not be doing it then. Ooh, I don't know. That's kind of iffy. So I'm just thinking and speaking, and I shouldn't be doing that. I shouldn't. I should have stuff planned before I say too much. But the new release is going to be September 9th. So we're going to be shipping to stores before then. And so by the time we release, it should be in stores and it will be exciting. So anyway, but like I was saying, I'm not quite there with Christmas yet, but I thought tonight would be fun to do a wreath because I love them. And I want to feature the Mini Foliage dies because I love them. And I'm kind of a die cutting fiend these days. I'm really having a lot of fun with dies. And I realized too, I hadn't done any watercoloring in a really long time. So I thought it would be fun to do some kind of easy watercoloring and play with that a little bit and see how it comes out. So we're going to see. Who else has come in? We've got Anna Lavera is here. Sharon Gullickson. Hey, Sharon. Sarah Fincham is here. And Becca. Who else is coming in? Oh, names are scrolling. So anyway, hi everybody. I think Bethany is here. I think I saw your name in there too. So yay. Okay, we're going to get rolling because this card, I want to be able to take my time through it and kind of show you what I did. I do have stuff already started, but I'm going to show you kind of how I did it and make sure that you guys have all the information you need to recreate one on your own. So Alan, if you will please switch the camera for me, I would appreciate it. Let's go to camera 3. There you go. Okay, so this is the Mini Foliage die. It's actually got 5 dies. You can see how big they are. Here's my hands, right? it's actually got 5 dies, and they're all different, just little leafy dies. This one has like little buds on them, and that's the one that we're going to use for flowers. So I just love this. It shows kind of on the back here what they look like when they're die cut. They're absolutely gorgeous. I love them, love them, love them. These are sized also, they're nice and tiny, but they're sized so that you can fit them into a little mini machine, which is actually what I did because, oops, sorry about that, sorry about the sound, but I had actually used my little Gemini Mini here. I got this thing on HSN. I saw somebody had posted, this was like a few months ago, somebody had posted and said that they had a whole bunch of them for like 20 bucks. And so I went and grabbed one, and then Alan was like, why didn't you get a whole bunch of them? We could have given them away as prizes. And I thought, well, duh, that would have been smart. But he didn't say it beforehand, so it's all his fault. By the time I got there, they were gone. He didn't say it quick enough. But anyway, so they fit in there, so it was really easy to cut them. So I had a lot of fun with this. I literally cut a ton of them. But the paper I'm using is our watercolor paper. This is the LDRS Creative Watercolor Paper. We have this in 2 sizes. You get 10 sheets in a pack. We've got the A2, which is what I used. We also have the Slimline. For this particular project, it doesn't matter which size you use because all we're really doing with it is cutting dies with it, cutting little die cuts with it. But I love this watercolor. I researched watercolor extensively, I will say, watercolor paper, because I wanted a watercolor paper that was going to be, I wanted one that was going to be heavy, thick enough. I wanted it to be smooth, and I wanted it to work beautifully with a range of different paints, of different watercolor paints, and I really think we nailed it. I also wanted one that was a beautiful, beautiful white. I didn't want an off-white, and like I said, I wanted it to be really nice and smooth, but hear that? It is thick. This is a really good watercolor paper. So if you're looking for watercolor paper, I promise you, you will not regret this one. And like I said, we have it in A2, already cut to size for you, and we also have it in Slimline. So love these. What else? I pulled these. I don't know if I'm going to use them. We'll see. I pulled, Alan, do you want to come to, let's go to camera 2. This is our special occasions. This is the stamps. You can see on the back what they look like, but there's 10 stamps in here. Love the fonts on these, nice big words. And then the coordinating dies, each sentiment has 2 dies, one that cuts the sentiment and then one that will shadow it. So you get beautiful, beautiful, contours around that. And then I needed a little template for my wreath because I'm not stamping. I can't use my pirouette. But I wanted to have some sort of a little template for the circle. So I ended up pulling my scallop circle die set out. This is a die set we've had. You can see it looks older. We've had this for several years now. I don't even know if we have any more of these in the store. If we do, we're running really low. But this is something that we're going to be replacing with a new set soon. But I love this set. It's got a really, really great circle die. Right, this one is right here. So I basically, I just cut a circle with it and use that to kind of create a little template. And then I might use, actually, I'm not going to use the lowercase, but I'm thinking I'm leaning toward this instead of the sentiments, but I'm going to see. We'll see. I'm thinking of using the Sophie Alpha uppercase dies. And then just in case you were wondering, we do have the lowercase as well. Love these, love these. It's a beautiful kind of elegant font that I just think is gorgeous. So let me show you where I am in things and what I've got going on. Because as always, I have my little bag of tricks here. Who else is here? Patty Redmond has come in. Very cool. Hello, Patty. Hi. Let's see. I see more names in there, but it just says Facebook user. It's hard to see. So, okay. So here's what I did. I've got a piece of white cardstock here. This does happen to be watercolor paper, just because I was working with it and I wanted all the whites to match. So here's that circle that I told you I cut with that circle die. And all I did was lay that, this is an A2, all I did was laid that into the center and literally with a pencil, just traced around it And Alan, will you come into camera 3? So now I have that little circle. I just did it really light. I'm going to be covering it, so I'm not worried about it, but that's going to give me a guide. And then I'll save this. I cut this out of, nice paper, so I'm going to save that, put that aside, and I'll use that on another project. Let's see what else I have here. Okay, here's my card bases, just in case I mess one up, I have 2. And then this is where I've gone. This is what we're working on right here. So I'm going to show you what I did here because it was really easy and fun and messy. And I want to make sure that everybody can do this. So I could just explain it, but it's not quite the same as doing it, right? Now I'm working, actually, we're going to come to to camera 2, Alan. So let me show you what I've got going on here. I'm going to set that one aside. I'm working on glass. This is a glass mat. Raise your hand. Give me a shout out if you guys are interested in gorgeous, customized, not customized, but, well, they are customized. They would be customized, glass mats that are not your, like this one here, for example. It's all white and has the beautiful flowers. This one is an LDRS that I designed. I didn't want one that had all those dark measurements and was so busy and everything all over it. I wanted something that was pretty. So let me know. Give us a little shout out, maybe a hands up or something if you are interested in a pretty glass mat. I know there's a lot of glass mats out there, but I'm wondering if you want a pretty one, a decorative one, because I think they're stunning. And I think your craft room should be pretty. So, or at least your craft space. Maybe you don't have a craft room, but if you're working, there's a lot of people that work on a desk or their dining room table or something like that. If you want a prettier space, something that looks prettier in your space, give me a shout out. Give me a high five. I want to know. Okay, so this is a piece of the paper. That's our what is it called? Watercolor paper. And let me see. Do I see some high fives going out there? I see some hands. Yep, if you want to, okay, yeah, cool. People are definitely interested. Well, that's good to know because I think things, I'm more creative if I have beautiful things around me. That is just a big thing for me. Okay, so what do I have here? I've got, like I said, my A2 watercolor paper, and I've got 2 colors here of our inks. Now, our inks, the LDRS Creative Inks, these are hybrid inks. What is a hybrid ink? I haven't talked about it in a little while, so for those of you that don't know what a hybrid ink is, it has a combination of properties, combination of a dye and a pigment ink. So this, basically, in a nutshell, what it means is this is your go-to ink. Are you going to be coloring with watercolors? Are you going to be coloring with Copic markers or alcohol markers? Are you going to be stamping on glossy surfaces? Are you going to be, what are you going to be doing? Stamping on wood, stamping on fabric, all these different things. Color blending, you can do them all with a hybrid ink. You can also emboss with our hybrid inks. So you have a slightly extended drying time with these, which is really, really nice. So I pulled 2 colors. I pulled Olive Branch. Actually, does that one? Yep, that does. Olive Branch. And then this one is Evergreen. Okay? So these are the 2 colors. Let me turn this one around. There we go. And then I have my water, which is here, my little tulip cup. That's my water. And then I have, this could be any brush, really. You just want a good quality brush. This happens to be like a, I don't know, looks like a fan to me. I don't know the names of the different types of brushes. What does it say on it? You just want a good quality. I pulled this one because it has more, basically more real estate to it than this one. This one would take me forever to wet this paper, so I wanted one that had more space to it. What?
It looks like Rosanna and Adana's hair.
It does. We were just watching some Saturday Night Live skits last night. We were watching Gilda Radner and Rosanna Dana. And yeah, that does look like her hair. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, we were showing that to our son, and we were just really enjoying it. Phenomenal comedian. Anyway, God rest her. So, all right, so here's what I did. What do I have here with me? I've got some paper towel here in case I need it because I'm working with water. I've got, what else do I have? I think that's all I really need to have. So I'm going to get started. Here's what I did. Because I'm working on a glass surface, there's a reason why I mentioned glass. I'm just going to ink up right here on the glass. Okay. Now this one is the olive branch. I'm going to get this paper a little bit wet. Not soaking wet, just a little bit wet. All right. And now I'm going to dip in and I'm going to get my ink a little bit wet. All right. And I'm going to brush it over my paper. So I'm guessing that at this point I'm doing something that everybody can do, right? This is easy, very, very easy. I'm going to get a little more ink in here. Add a little bit of water to it, just a little bit. And if you want, start dunking this in. This is going to give you a little bit of texture. All right, let me put that away. This is going to give you just a little bit of texture in there, so it's not all so perfectly even. This is really, seriously, what I did. All right, and I'm going to let this kind of run and let this kind of dry. All right, so it's not too wet. So that's basically, in a nutshell, what I did. Sorry, just got that. I'm tearing them off of here if you're wondering what that lovely sound was.
I was wondering.
Here, let's do it again. There you go. Okay.
I had an Urkel moment. Did I do that?
Ellen, Urkel, did I do that? You're so awful. That was an awful sound. Off camera. Oh my gosh. Only on live television, right? Okay, so here we go. So I'm doing another one. And now I'm just going to play right here in this little mess that I have. And now I've got the evergreen. Sarah, I'm looking at the comments now. You guys are hilarious. Oh, goodness. Okay, so now this is the darker one. Now you don't want so much water that it just ends up getting really, really light, right? So this is literally just playtime. So all I'm doing is creating kind of a pretty watercolor effect with this. And I'm going to get some more ink in here. I've got water in here already. Let me get a little, tiny little bit more, just a bit more. And I'm just going to start messing this around in here. It's like playtime at the Hunt household. There we go. All right, and just kind of let it move. And then set these aside to dry. That's all there is to it. And don't worry, they're curled. They're curled because they're wet on the top. All right, they're only wet on one side. The other side is dry, so they're curled. These will straighten out or flatten out as they dry. So here we go, the beauty of the glass. Ah, there we go. Love that. Nice and clean. So I'm literally just going to set that aside. Now, this is one that I did. I did like the two colors combined. I started with the olive branch, and then I added some of the evergreen to that one. So these two colors together. And that gave me some light, really great light and dark, patches in there and some different colors. And it just creates a beautiful paper. So let me go ahead and clean. Oops. Wow. Be careful when you're working with water in your space. Oy, oy, oy. I almost tipped that over. All right. So let me clean that out. Still seeing green. I don't want my brush to dry with green in it. Okay. There we go. So from here, let me put these up here. Okay, so from here, where's my paper trimmer. So I'm going to trim this in half. So it's 4 1/4. I'm going to trim it to 2 1/8. All right, just like so. Why am I doing that? I'm doing that because I'm going to be working with my little mini, my Gemini mini. And so I need to have really skinny papers to go through this. Let me get that water out of the way now so that I don't end up messing with that. But I want to show you what I did here. So I grabbed this particular die here that has the larger leaves. And you don't want to cut these until your paper is dry. So make sure you're die cutting after you have completely dried your papers, because if the fibers are wet, the fibers are going to stretch a little bit, and you're not going to get a really good cut all the way through. So you want to make sure you're not working with something that is still drying, okay? Very important that you know that. Now you can line up on here all these different dies if you want, whatever shapes you want. You can get a whole mixture of shapes, or you can cut them one at a time. I'm going to show you how I did this one. I'm going to turn this over so the blade side goes up. There we go. This is so, you know, I've been working with this for a long time, so I do like to flip it over and cut it a second time, just to make sure I get a really great cut with it. And then here we go. One thing I'll tell you too, with these little dies, when you have them in here before you pull it out, if you take it and kind of stretch it like that a little bit with the die there, the die helps give you a little bit of stability, but that just helps to kind of loosen it all out so that those little things pop out like super, super easy. Alan, you want to come to camera 3 here? Look how cute that is. Just so, so cute. So I have a variety of colors of that, and so I would just go down this strip with either one die or multiple dies and cut a whole bunch of those, which is exactly what I did. So after doing that, sorry, it's got those little suction things on the bottom, like an octopus. Okay, so after doing that, this is what I have. Okay, let me flip this around and show you. Well, let's go this way. There, maybe not. Okay, see how this is starting to flatten as it dries? It's not as, this one is almost completely flat now as it dries. So that's, those are just awesome. Love those. The paper, I'm telling you, is fantastic. So this is where we're at right now. Having lots of fun with these. I'm so excited to see how this is going to come out. So here's what I've done. I have cut with this little die here. I used a paper that was lighter, like this one. Okay, see how light that is? So I have 2 different things going on. This green that I did here was actually Prickly Pear Perfection. That's what I have here, and I mixed that a little bit with the Olive Branch. So I had a light and dark again. So I had Prickly Pear Perfection and Olive Branch. When you look at the really light one, actually it was this really light one that I did. So, okay. So here we go. Let me move this over here so you can see what I did. So the really light one, I cut like a couple of the strips of that, and so now I have all of these in that really light green. Isn't that pretty? Just a whole bunch of them here. I don't know how many I'm going to need, but I wanted a bunch. With this one with the larger leaves, I did what I just showed you. So I have a whole bunch of these. Okay, with the darker colors mixed in there, and just love those. Then, where is it? Actually, wait a minute. I have 2 different ones in here. I mixed them together. In the lighter color, I also have this leaf. So let me hold this one up so you can see it. See how these 2 are different, these leaves? This one here is this one here. And then this one with the squiggly or longer leaves is this one here. So I have 2 different shapes of leaves in here. Same color, but different shapes. And I'm just going to kind of playfully mix those in together because I like having all the different shapes. Then in this one that has those little flower buds, I cut a bunch of those in white out of the watercolor, but in white. And then I started playing with the painting, and that's what we're going to do next. So I have some in a light pink, in like a dark pink, and then in red here. Here's some where I only did the stems and left the flowers white. I'm going to show you how we get to there. And then this is my alpha that I was playing with too. So let's do this now. All right, so for that, I've got 3 colors here. To start off with, I've got Pink Tutu, that's my light pink. Lipstick Jungle, that is my dark pink. And then red, which is Kiss Me Red. And these 3, this is the trio that goes together. So I knew these were going to look absolutely stunning. Okay. I see somebody saying something about the tray. Now this tray, just so you know, it's just a little ceramic artist palette. I got it on Amazon. So it was like 13 bucks or something. Really easy and fun. It helps you really separate your stuff out. So I like that. Okay. So let's see. I am going to, Alan, actually, no, you know what? Let's leave it where we are. I was going to have you zoom in here, but I'm not going to, I was going to have you zoom out, but I'm not going to have you do that. So, let's see. And then for the leafy stuff, I need 2 colors. So I'm going to start off with, I need another of the dark pinks. So I have 2 light pinks. Here's what we have so far. I have 2 light pinks, I have a medium pink, and then I have 2 with red. And I want to have 2 of each. So I'm going to show you what I did with this dark pink. And the darker pink is the Lipstick Jungle. So here's what I did. It was so simple. Get a little bit of that pink. Now here I have a smaller brush. This is a round brush. It's a 000. I would suggest a 000 or a 00 because it is small. And I need my water. Here's my water. I'm literally, because I cut these out of our watercolor paper, I'm just going to get just the tips of these tips of these little buds wet, and I'm going to grab some of that pink and just start to add that on those tips. Now you don't want a ton of water here. If it goes on too dark like that, then you know you don't have enough water. Oops, that one went on a little too dark. There we go. You know what, I'm wondering if I still have red in my brush. And I do, I have red in my brush from when I was working before. But that's okay. So I'm just getting that pink. That's a brighter pink. There we go. Looks like I worked the red out. But because I'm working it, here's the thing. If I only wanted pink, I would probably start this one over again. But because I'm mixing my colors in, I'm using light pink, dark pink, and red, I'm not going to worry about it because it's still going to look really pretty. Let me get more pink here. And just get these tips pink. Okay, I'm just adding, like as it dries a little bit, I'm going back in again just to kind of brighten it. That's why I'm going back over it. Just to make it a little bit deeper. Tiny bit of water if it looks like it's coming out too strong. Okay, now there's one right there. And that one is still going to work. See how I have the red here? I think that one's still going to work. So from here, I'm just cleaning off my brush again. I'm going to make sure that brush is right. A little bit of water, a little bit of pink. There we go. And you can see how I'm still getting pink on there even though my brush is just water and I didn't dip in there because I still have a lot of pink on the brush. Let me go ahead and get some more ink here. Let's brighten that up a bit. Why am I not getting more? There we go. Let's get that water. There we go. Just brighten that up. Now if I had a, like I'm using a 000, if I was using a like a 00 for my brush instead of a 000, I would definitely be getting more color with each of those strokes. There we go. So we're going to set these aside. Let me go ahead and get this cleaned up here. Now let me show you how I do the green. So I'm just going to take this and do the green now. So for the green, I'm going to start with olive branch. I'm going to use the same greens. I'm going to start with olive branch. And I'm not going to wet this first. I'm just going to, I'm getting mud. You know what, Alan, I think I need, will you change this water?
Yep.
I think I need that water change. Can you reach it? Sorry, I'm getting mud and I don't want mud.
Do you want wine or you just want more water?
What?
You want me to turn it into wine?
Yeah, no, I don't. Just get me water, you goofball. Let me make sure I get this brush clean. Because if I go into that green and I still have some red on here, then I'm going to get brown, and I don't want brown. Oh, that didn't sound good.
It didn't. I'm not sure what that
Did you
was.
just crack something?
I don't know.
Here. There you go. Thank you. Okay. All right, so back to the olive branch. Did you just crack? It sounded like it cracked.
It just came loose.
Okay. All right, so now I'm just going to go down here with where the green would be. And just get like these little stems. Really easily. And this is just one of those very relaxing things. You really can't go wrong. If you get it up on the flower a little bit, that doesn't really matter. Just put red over it and it'll look great. Okay, so there's one of the stems. I'm going to go ahead and get some of that darker color. It's the evergreen. And now I'm going to add a little bit of that evergreen just kind of in here, just just kind of randomly. And that's going to give us like a variation of color. Tiny little bit more water. And that ends up looking, I think, a little more natural. So I think that looks really pretty. I like that. Now I'm going to go in and do these now. I'm just kind of getting it with the side of that brush a little bit. Bringing that color in. A little more water. If you don't see the color coming off the brush, then you need a little more water. Get some of that darker now. I like to take it up and get a little bit on the flower a bit, on that bud, because then it looks like the leaf has kind of come up and wrapped, you know, like it's wrapping around that flower, that base of the flower a bit. I think that's really pretty. So there you go. There's a pretty little pink one. So we'll set that aside. And then this one here, I'm just rinsing out, getting some of that darker green out of it. There we go. So it doesn't take a lot. I'm not being real precise, just getting color on those little branches there, and then back into the darker green. There we go. And now we just have these pretty little flowers. So that is all that I did. So let me get this cleaned up. I'm going to leave this one with white because I'm going to be tucking some little white bits in there. Actually, you know what? I have two more here. I think I'm going to go ahead, because I don't know how much I'm going to need with that white. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple more. Get that olive branch and just do the branches, because I want to make sure I have enough little white accents to grab as I start putting this together. So just go in there and do those kind of quickly. And now I'm going to go to that darker green and just accent a little bit with that. But I really like leaving some of these flowers white because it'll help to bring some more white back into my card wherever I feel like I need it as I start putting it all together. Okay, so there is that. Let's get this cleaned up. All right, so Alan, I'm going to have you take that water out of here, please, if you would.
You think it's
Here,
safer
take
with
these
me?
too. No, I want you, you can go dump it in the other room there,
Yeah.
in the bathroom. Okay. So now I have, let's see what all I have here. Let me dry this. So now I have all of these. All right, so now we have tons of fun and pretty little things. So now I'm going to start playing and just putting this together. So here's my thinking. This is that really pretty, let me get these inks out of here because I got too much stuff here right now and I'm going to end up making a mess if I'm not careful. All right, so this is that pretty Sophie Alpha uppercase, and I grabbed the H because our last name is Hunt. So I grabbed the H and I cut it twice out of white. I actually cut it out of my Neenah Classic Crest Solar White cardstock because it's heavy, nice and thick, and I didn't want to waste watercolor paper on that. And then I cut it out of a really pretty, just gold cardstock that I, had, so just a scrap. I do keep a little scrap, like a little scrap bin, so I can just go in and grab whatever scraps I need. And so I cut 2 white, 1 gold. I'm gonna, ooh, that's maybe a little too much. Let's spread that around. Sorry, I got a little too much of the glue. And anyway, I wanted to layer these up. Stand that up. Got a little too much glue. I had it upside down because I'm running low. But this allows me to build it up without having to put foil behind it. Not foil, foam behind it. All right. Got too much glue. And this is our, the LDRS craft glue. This will dry clear. It goes on white so you can see where you've put it. And it will dry clear. There we go. Make sure this is all lined up beautifully. Trying not to get any adhesive on the shiny part. Now I am going to use my Stampendable actually just to set this aside, put my Stampendable on top of it just to hold it flat while it dries. Okay, so that's just going to sit over there. Now here's the idea. I want to start playing with these and just kind of sort out how I'm going to lay these in here. Now this light green I have in 2 different shapes. I don't know how I'm going to tuck these in yet, but we'll see. My thinking is I'm going to lay, let me see, let me get my little, Alan, will you, I wonder, no, you know what, I was going to have you pull the camera out a little bit, but I'm just going to grab my little leafy pieces here. Let me flip all these back over again. So here's my darker ones over here, and I have my lighter ones here. And so the idea is I have that circle, and I want to just kind of see how, I want a full wreath. I want a nice full wreath. This is probably dry by now. And I thought it would be fun to have the H on the center here. I could put one of those sentiments in there too. But this is kind of what I'm thinking with these, is grabbing some of these different leaves and just kind of tucking them in and around. And I can even trim some of these later and just tuck, for more texture. I can trim them in half and just tuck little bits and pieces in wherever I need them. This is kind of what I'm thinking. And I think that is kind of giving me a nice shape. It's hard when they keep moving all around. But I think that's going to give me a nice shape, and then I will end up doing, like, adding in these, I'll layer them up more because I have a lot of them and I can tuck more in, but I'm planning on putting some of these little flowers in there. So we're going to see how this goes. I don't know. Hopefully I'm not going to hate it when it's done, but we'll see. The scary part is when you start gluing them down. That is a little nerve-wracking and a little scary. Because then you can't really move them, right? But we'll see. We'll see how we do. Like I said, I can always tuck more. I don't want to come too far into the center because I want to leave some space here. And I can always add some little tails of them in there as I trim some too. So I'm going to kind of curl these up a little bit and just put a little bit of adhesive into like the center of the back so that I get texture. I can have some lift on them. There we go. Let's see. Boy, oh boy. I have not mocked this up yet, so I'm not sure how I need these to lay. Literally kind of doing this on the fly with you guys. So let's see where we go. Tuck another one in there. Just a little bit of adhesive right in that center. And I'm going to try and lay this kind of underneath a bit. Alright. Sorry, I'm going to get a little quiet as I'm thinking, deciding if I'm doing if I'm liking what I'm doing. There we go. Just in that center. I'm bending these up every time, trying to get the next one underneath just a little bit. And I'm trying not to worry too much about it being really full right now because I do have more layers, and like I said, I can always tuck more in. There we go. But I do like the different greens mixed into here. I want to make sure this curves around. Let's see, let's put one of these in. Curve up. And this one I've got to tuck up in there somehow because I'm missing some of my shape. Let's get this out of the way. There we go. And I really like having some of those kind of stems come in the center there too. I think that's really pretty. So this is why it's so important to have that circle. So you can see if your shape is starting to work out. It's filling out a bit. I'm going to trim the end of this one off. This is where you might have to do a little bit of, I can't tuck that up under where I want it because the other one was glued down a little too much. So there we go. Does that look right? It's getting there. It's starting to make a little bit of a wreath. How about one of these. Before that dries, I want to see it this direction. It helps me to see if I'm making that shape right. Let's do this one. I'm going to start working backwards a little bit, I think. And also, because I'm not putting too much adhesive on here, if I need to pull one of these off of here, I can. So here's some more of my little greens. Well, that one covers that one up completely, doesn't it? There we go. That circle. It doesn't have to be perfect either, so don't get hung up on whether or not it's perfect. At least I'm trying not to. I just want it to be round. How you doing, Alan? If anybody has any questions about anything, I can talk while I'm doing this.
How many ounces is the glue?
How many ounces is the glue?
Yes.
It is 0.5 ounces. Is that your question or somebody else's question?
Someone else's.
All right.
Also a question.
And it goes a long way because you don't use a whole ton as you're gluing. What?
Is it refillable?
The glue?
Yes.
No, the glue is not refillable. All right, here we go. Get that up underneath there. Whoops, I think I'm heading a little too far down there. Getting a little wide. I'm going to fill in up in there a bit too as I start to pull these around. Oh, I got a couple of them stuck together. Yikes. There we go. A little bit of texture at the bottom. There we go. So quiet. Sometimes I don't know what to say when I'm focusing. It's hard to talk. I sometimes feel like I'm being a little too quiet. I'm sorry if that's the case.
She was asking what the name of the die set is.
The die set is the Mini Foliage die set. It's this die set right here.
Regan's asking if you're back on HSN before the holidays.
Ooh, HSN question. Yes, I will be on HSN. I think it's October 4th. We will be back on HSN. So now I'm going to play a little bit and just kind of, I'm going to trim these a bit and add a little bit more texture where I feel like I need it. Maybe trim that one out a little more because I feel like it's not very full over here. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit more. So I just trimmed off the bottom because I don't need so much of it. And this is where you can just kind of play and fill in. Just to kind of get some of your shape back if you're missing a little bit of the shape. But that one I think actually looks pretty doggone good, if I do say so myself. So I've got a couple of extras here. I'm not sure I need to fill in anymore. I think that looks really pretty. Now, I'm going to add some of these flowers. These I just think are gorgeous. So if I kind of bring these in a little bit. Like that. Kind of alternate them with some of the different pinks. Here's a darker pink. Actually, let's go like this. That one. There. And here. How's that look? Oh, how does that look? I think it looks really pretty. All right, so I'm going to glue this one in. Just in the center. I'm going to pop up those flowers a little bit. Move that one back down a bit. There we go. I really like this just with them glued down in the centers. And you don't have to worry about putting too much of this glue because like I said, it dries clear. So you don't have to worry about having too much in there. You want enough that it's going to stay. That's the key. Tuck that in there a little bit. Oops. Speaking of stay, you might want to hold it there a moment. It stuck to my finger instead. I think this is really pretty.
It came out round.
You sound surprised. Helen says, oh, it came out round.
Mine would probably be...
Round was the goal.
I would shoot for oval.
You would shoot for oval?
At best.
I'm just holding these down a little bit so they stay in place. And then I thought if I wanted some white tucked in there, I thought that would be pretty to just kind of trim some of these that have some white. And then just tuck in maybe a little bit of white in there. Because I think that's really pretty. Maybe I could have some of the white coming into the center. I don't know if I even need it. Just like that. So let me see. This is where the H is going to go, right here. Look at that little bit of white in the center there. I think that's pretty. So I'm trimmed off just a little bit off the top. And I'm going to tuck that in just like so. So that little bit is just kind of coming into the center. I think that's pretty. I'm going to do that in a few places. So let me grab another one where I cut it, or where I can cut the top. So there we go. Let me just add a tiny little bit of white, maybe like tucked up in here. Let me move that over here. Just fill in a tiny bit. Bring that white down just a bit. Hold that in place. And it is white on white. So, you know, I'm not sure, you're not going to see it. It's not going to really stand out, but it's there. And it just gives a gorgeous little accent. And then I think I'm going to do one more kind of down over here. Almost like a little triangle. It just gives me that little bit of texture, a little bit of extra little color. So it's not all so perfect either. And then I have some extra pieces. I'm going to toss those aside. I'm going to go ahead, before I get too far with this, I'm going to go ahead and place this. Oh my gosh, I have mess here. Messy, messy, messy. I'm going to place this here. So this is going to go on my card base. Let me make sure it fits because I trimmed it myself, so might not be perfect. Oh, you know what we should do? We should do paint splatter. Ah! I should paint splatter that a little bit because it looks a little bare and white. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a mess and paint splatter. All right, so let me get stuff out of the way here. Because if you're going to paint splatter,
Sounds messy.
it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The word splatter right there in and of itself is messy. So I think I might put these down up here so I don't get that anywhere I don't want it to go.
I'm gonna watch because this might be fun.
This might be fun. We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna do. What colors am I gonna do? I think I'm gonna do these colors here. These three. I don't know if I'm gonna do that red. We'll see. I'm gonna use. I need the water again. I need water. So can you put a little bit of water in there for me,
Come on.
please?
I dodged the cream.
Come on,
twice
work with
now.
me. Work with me.
Work with you.
Boy, I hope I don't ruin my card. We'll see. We'll see. I do have a test. I can do a little test on this little piece of paper here and make sure I get my splatter down. All right, so Alan, you might want to zoom out with the camera a bit to camera
You might wanna
2.
turn it off so
Go to
you
camera
don't
2.
mess it up.
Yeah, I might want to turn it off. I might. So we're going to try a little paint splatter here. So I have Lipstick Jungle. Let's see how we do here. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to like this. That's maybe too much water. I need more. Here, let's go like this. Ooh, that's nice. Okay. So, I'm nervous.
I wouldn't do it.
Alan's like, don't do it.
I would do that first.
I just want a little bit of splatter. Just a little, that little
That's a
bit.
little.
Okay, so that's one color. That actually looks really pretty. Oh, you know what I should have is a gold to splatter with. Wouldn't that be pretty? Okay, but we're not gonna, I don't have a gold right now. So I'm cleaning out my brush. Because we're gonna go to another color. This is the olive branch. Let me get my card out of the way. Here's my card. I have that little bit of splatter on the card. I'm going to get that card out of the way. Oh, just made a mess. A little bit of, ew, I got brush coming apart here. Let's go like that. Too much water. That looks good. Okay. I'm telling you, a test is always good. Make sure you don't have too much water. Okay, make sure you have some water. All right, I don't have enough water on it. Sorry. I'm very, very cautious with this. All right, that's better. Nothing like getting really, really big paint splatters on your stuff and then being mad because you've ruined it. That looks good. Just a little bit. Tiny bit. Okay. Let's get that card out of the way. Okay, get the water out of here before I ruin everything. Thank you. Now, I could get like a gold to paint splatter too. That could be so pretty. But I don't think I'm going to. So let's come back into camera 2. Look at that little bit of paint splatter. I think that's really pretty. And then we're going to put this H right here. And I think it's just going to be done. And it's going to be really, just kind of really pretty. I think anyway. I like it. I think that paint splatter really helped a lot because it just kind of brought the card together. That H right in the center there. You could put a sentiment in the center. That's what one of the things I was thinking of doing. I'm going to hold this down for a moment because I want it to stay. And I don't think this will hold. I don't want to smash the whole thing down, so let me just hold that. All right. There you go. So now, instead of just having a wreath on a plain white background, we have that very light little splatter in the background, which is the exact same color, exact same things that I used on the wreath. You know what? I feel like I need a little bit of white right there. I'm missing something there. It just looks like I've got a hole. So I'm going to add one more little thing here. Sorry, this is what I do. I just kind of take a look around and I go, Sometimes when you step away from it for a moment, you realize where you need something. And I feel like right here, it's just got an empty spot. Do I want it to be white though? Let's see. I feel like that's too much white. So what do I have in terms of green? I'm going to put a tiny little bit of green there, I think, instead. Just looks like a little hole. Yeah, that's going to fill in. See that spot right there? It just looks like a hole. There we go. That completes the shape, I think, a little bit better. Very good. Okay. Yay! Isn't that like the best die set ever? I think it's so cute. I really like it. I think that turned out really nice. See something. Sorry, I'm still poking around at things here. Where is it? Here it is. I think I might actually add that white one. I know, Alan. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, stop, Ange.
We're good.
I just feel like I need something there. Yeah, I'm going to put the white there. This is what I do. This is me in my studio. This is where I go, What else? What else? It's not perfect. You tuck that in there. Right up in there. So a little more texture. There we go. A little more flour. Okay, now I'm done. I promise you, I am done. I hope you like it. I think this turned out really beautiful. I'm so happy with it. I think it's gorgeous. I mean, look at the texture on that. It's all lifted up. It is so pretty. you could still put this, because it's not up on a whole bunch of foam, it's all glued down, it's actually very flat. So if you wanted to put this into an envelope and send that through the mail, I think that would hold up really, really well. So, so pretty. You could do this in whatever colors you want. So here I'm showing it in a variety of like pink and red with the green, so it looks very Christmassy. Remember when I said I wasn't feeling Christmas yet? But you could do this, I mean, this looks like a Christmas card. You could do this in blues and purples and pinks and have it be great for spring. You could do this in oranges, like bright orange, yellows, burnt oranges, reds, and do a fall wreath for this. This is something you could create this card over and over and over again, whether you put, you know, whether a monogram in the center or if you put a sentiment in the center, like one of these. Okay, and so this is the special occasions. We also have the everyday sentiments, but you could put a sentiment and pop that up in the center, and you could use it for really any occasion. I just think it's so pretty. And it's easy watercoloring. I love it. Yay. I'm so glad that turned out. I'm very happy with it. Yay. All right. Ellen, you want to change?
Good.
Yeah, perfect. I really like how this turned out. I'm so happy. Yay. I really am. I like that a lot. I do think that adding that splatter to it made a big difference too. So it's not just a plain white background. It gives you a little bit of texture, and it just really pulls the colors together because I splattered in the same colors that I used for the flowers and for the leaves. So I think it turned out really great, and I hope you guys like it. Hope you guys have fun. I hope you'll recreate it because it's really easy to do. It was a lot of fun. So anyway, who wants to win the mini foliage die? Yay!
I do.
I do. All right, so Alan is going to draw a name from the comments. You always, excuse me. You always want to make sure and leave comments so Alan can pull your name out. Excuse me. Who do we have?
Are you done coughing?
Becca Aiken. Becca Aiken, you have won your very own mini foliage die. So Becca, please, I need you to send your name and your complete mailing address to AJ Hunt to customer service at LDRScreative.com. And Becca, we will get your mini foliage dies sent to you right away. So congratulations. Thank you so much for playing along and for being here tonight. Everybody, it has been a joy. I had so much fun creating this card. I had fun watercoloring, doing simple watercoloring. I mean, this is watercoloring that anybody can do. Anybody. Lots of fun.
Even I could do
Even Alan can do it. And you can do it with your hybrid inks. So really, really cool. Lots of fun with that too. Yay! All right, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Have a fantastic weekend. And we will be back here 1 week from tonight. Same time, same place. And I don't know what I'm going to do, but hopefully it'll be fun. We'll see. All right, everybody. Oh, stay tuned. We do have a Friday Frenzy going off tomorrow, by the way. So if you don't already subscribe to our newsletter, you want to subscribe because it's the only way you're going to get the details and the link to the Friday Frenzy. So if you don't already subscribe, go to our website, LDRScreative.com. If the little pop-up doesn't come up, then go all the way to the bottom of the homepage, and it'll say be in the know. You want to type in your email address there, and you want to subscribe. It's the only way you're going to get notified and get the link for the Friday Frenzy. And I promise you, this is the first of 3 that we're going to do. And it's a doozy, so you don't want to miss it. All right, everybody. Until next week, thank you so much. Have a fantastic night and a wonderful weekend. Bye, everybody.